books are going to be in the series then?
Just 2.
Are you sure?
It's going to be a duology.
What if readers demand more?
Well, I've made it that there will be a spinoff.
Oh. Any details you want to share on that?
Izzy should actually know about that spinoff because I've sent her some pictures.
Yes.
But you're not going to tell me?
No.
Oh!
Well, I'll say a few things if you want to bring it out through the evening.
You know me, I'm curious. I have to know all the details. I can't not know something. It drives me insane.
Here's the box. Just don't look in the box.
What's in the box? All right, fine. If you're going to be stubborn, then we'll get it out of you. But for everyone else, welcome. It's another episode of Spilling Ink. We are the talk show that takes you behind the book to meet the authors and professionals in the publishing industry. And you guys should definitely recognize this face down here, Mr. Derek Borne.
This guy?
Yes.
Who is this guy?
You, the man of the hour.
Since you posted the Sound of Dinosaurs with the whole thing, I have not gotten Sound of Music out of my head today. The book is alive with the sound of dinosaurs.
Dinos.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yes.
It felt right. And then I had that little graphic with the claw marks.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Reminded me of Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah. Oh, so when is the next one coming out? Are you guys excited for that?
Supposed to be middle of June.
Yeah, it's soon.
I'm very excited.
So really soon. Ooh.
It looks good. I'm excited.
I'm excited to see the legacy characters back.
Yes. As long as they get more than a cameo, because I was really upset in the last one that it was just kind of like a throwaway scene that didn't even belong.
From what I've heard, basically Jurassic World Dominion follows their story and the new characters like Chris Pratt and everybody else, their story, but then it converges kind of like Seinfeld, how they all have their own storylines and then finally come together.
They cross, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I'm excited to see how they all interact.
Okay. Me too.
I'm just excited because I love the whole series. I've watched every movie so many times throughout my life. What can we say? Everybody loves dinosaurs.
Yeah. Jurassic Park 3, it was okay.
It was fun.
It had its time. It had its place.
Yeah.
It was a fun addition.
Yeah.
I think we get too critical on movies these days.
True.
Like we really tend to nitpick them to death, and you lose some of the enjoyment.
It does really flesh out some of the lore of Jurassic Park, though. Knowing that there was a second island where they were doing more than just a few things to bring dinosaurs back to life. And actually, if you watch Camp Cretaceous on Netflix, it is canon to Jurassic Park.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Even though it's technically kind of a kid's show, if you're a diehard Jurassic Park fan, it ties a few other things together.
I know what I'm watching tonight.
So
I didn't even know about that. You said it's on Netflix?
It is on Netflix, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then I know what I'm watching tonight.
Yeah.
I need more distractions from work.
Yeah, right. I'm going to type a sentence. Next episode, Camp Cretaceous.
Yeah. I've earned the next episode. I wrote a paragraph.
Go.
Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's what I tell myself. That's how I made it through the entire season 1 of The Gilded Age in a day. Don't have much words to show for it.
Progress, not perfection. That had to become my mantra. So as long as you're making progress, even if it's slow, still progress.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to have some kind of work-life balance, because I tend to be the workaholic type who just gets lost in my little world, and then I don't know what's going on outside of it. And I'm like, oh, balance, right?
Yeah.
Boundaries. Yeah. What is that? It's a work in progress for sure.
I'll be deep into a chapter at some point, and then Alicia just goes, "Are we doing anything together tonight?"
Oh,
I'm sorry. Okay, close the laptop.
Time for your wife.
I know. I do. It's the odd time where I'm just in the zone, and it's I need to get.
I know, and it feels so good to get it done.
It's hard to be a person in a relationship with a creative type.
Yeah.
They really do have to be very understanding, because, like you said, when you're in the zone, you can't be disturbed when you're in the zone. It's so hard to get into the zone.
Yeah, I've had to learn how to structure myself and like be like, okay, I'm keeping office hours because yeah, otherwise I'd work all the time. I love to work. It's my passion. I'm an artist. I created this career around it. I'd love to do it all the time, but I also enjoy my time with my significant other. I enjoy some life experiences that ultimately enrich us to be artists. So it is important to allow time for that. And I've gotten better about that. It took me a long time to get here though. I still struggle with it. But yeah.
I've told
Boundaries.
people
always.
Yeah, I've said, there's more to life than a book.
There is.
As much as books are part of what we do, there is more to life.
Well, that makes me circle right back to Ready Player One. I was just talking about how I got VR headsets. Me and my boyfriend both did for our anniversary. And the whole theme at the end of that is like, okay, as wonderful as this imaginary world is, don't forget to have a life in the real world. And it's true. Yeah. Fostering those real relationships. And those are important.
Well, before we get too deep in the weeds, we should probably introduce you.
Oh, right.
We should.
Oh, gosh. Who are we? I don't even know.
Isabella Tugman.
We're talking heads. Oh, thank you. It's true. I'm the only one that I know of with this name. So, I mean.
Yeah, but the in front of it, Isabella Tugman, is just, it has a lot of importance there.
Well, thank you for introducing me. I thought I was just a random talking head joining in.
No.
We tend to do that because we like to just have conversation here. We don't like to do like the interviews, like, okay, next question and go. Right. We keep it natural.
Yeah.
Do you know everything that she can do, though? Do you know everything that she can do?
I would love to know. Tell us more. I need to know everything.
So the one day we were talking on Facebook Messenger and I discovered her YouTube channel. And I saw her singing in school. What, university, college?
Probably all of it, high school, university, yeah.
Okay. And as I'm listening to her singing, I'm going, okay, we haven't really talked Phantom of the Opera yet. So I asked her, I said, you know that really high note that Christine does that the Phantom like kind of brings out of her down in the catacombs? And I said, can you do that?
Yeah.
She says to me, when I practice, I can hit that note. That just floored me. I haven't heard it yet.
That's a tough one. Well, I'm a little out of practice right now. So admittedly, it's not going to come out right this second. But I mean, I'm a coloratura soprano. I'm operatically trained, classically trained. And that's what I went to school for. Actually, that was kind of my career track for a while. And that's my voice type. So I did opera and then kind of switched gears to musical theater. So those classical operatic style musicals are really my wheelhouse. Like Christine, that would be a role that I don't want to say a shoe-in for. I'm not trying to sound like,
she needs to be.
But that's like that's
my go for it.
Right. I mean that's my type. I always say my dream role in musicals is Glinda from Wicked, which really kind of inspired me. That's been a huge part of my origin story.
Nice.
Also being from Kansas and being blonde and all of that. But that's my voice type. So I love high notes. It's so fun. And I mean, just audiobooks, I guess, were a natural segue for me because it's the performance. I use my voice. I know how to use my voice in many ways because of my singing background. And it's been great for the pandemic because I can do it at home. But eventually, yes, I would love to get back into singing and musical theater too, because that's a big part of me.
Well, if they ever do a version of Phantom of the Opera that's just like random people, we should totally do it.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll play Phantom, you play Christine.
Great.
We'll do it. Yeah,
there you go.
Do it up.
I'd still watch that. When are you guys putting that together?
I need to get back into practice. But
it'd be a lot of back and forth from like Arizona to Canada.
I know.
Back and forth.
That's cool. Hey, we're living in the digital age.
True.
True.
Yeah.
I just got to get like a green screen or something.
I honestly am like, do I have any real life friends anymore? I'm like pretty sure all my social interactions since the pandemic started has been over the internet. And I'm like, why do I need anything else? Especially with VR. I'm like, we don't need to live in the real world. Who needs to live in the real world? Just have person-to-person contact.
No, we do need some of that human contact.
Teasing. It is important. It is essential. I joke, but yes, I know.
Although I say this fully admitting that I have been a hermit and enjoying the hermit lifestyle for the last 2 years. So yeah, I recognize that human contact is kind of important.
No, it really is. And that's why I'm thankful at least to have my boyfriend in my living space. But yeah, I mean, I'm that weird kind of ambivert person where it's like, okay, on one hand, I like my space and I like my little shell, but I'm also extroverted and like people and like to interact. And I think the internet has served that as well as like my profession for audiobooks and all of that. Because hey, I talk to myself like 10 different people in a day. So I'm talking to people all day, right? From my little box.
I'm
So how
happy
did you
that
switch gears when it came to the pandemic shutting everything down? Did you immediately jump into audiobooks, or were you already doing it before that?
I was thankfully already doing it. It was something I'd always wanted to do. Well, audiobooks and voiceover in general. But I kind of thought of it as like one of the many things. And then for a while, I was like, no, I want it to kind of be my main career focus for a while and create a good foundation. And then maybe I'll branch off and do some other things. So yes, thankfully I was already on track before the pandemic started, because then everybody was scrambling to get into this industry when they couldn't work live stage and film and, you know, all these other performance
I never
venues
thought of
got
that,
shut
actually.
down. Oh yeah, tons of people have flooded into
I believe it.
voiceover and from other career tracks too, not just performers, but people who had major life changes. They thought, "Oh, I want to work from home. I want to
Hmm.
talk for a living." It's more complicated than that.
And
Yeah.
people always seem to think it's the easiest thing in the world. It's
It's so
not
hard.
so hard.
It's so hard. No.
I had a client one
so much
time
work.
who wanted to do their own audiobook, and I tried to tell him, you don't want to do your own audiobook. Trust me, if you don't have the equipment, you don't want to do it. I was like, here's what you need to do. Sit down for 5 minutes and try and read 5 minutes straight a clean segment of your work and see how hard that is. And they
Yeah.
came back the next day or a couple days later and went, you're right, we need to hire somebody. I'm like,
Well, and all the audio elements too. I mean, I wanted to pull my hair out during my first audiobook. It's so hard. And thankfully now I just stuck with it. I was persistent. But yeah, I had this love-hate relationship with it. We're like, God, it never ends. And it's so hard. And yeah, it's hard. I wouldn't recommend most people narrate their own. Some people can, but yeah.
I've done like live readings of my books online, like Facebook Live or stuff like that. And I've had people tell me you should be reading your own audiobooks.
You're one of the few authors. I mean, I think you have the potential to be able to do it performance-wise, certainly.
But like Katie said, I just don't have the setup.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where like there's two sides to it. And like you, I came from a performance background, but I didn't have this technical background. It took me years to figure this stuff out, and a lot of money too,
Right.
time and money. And there's a huge investment that goes into the production side of things. So unless you want to hire a studio to do the production side, which is going to be very expensive,
Yep.
why narrate it yourself? I don't know. It depends on what you want to spend your time doing. Some people
But even
are passionate about
soundproofing
it.
is expensive, right?
Extremely yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, soundproofing. Okay, I could get into that. Maybe you guys don't want to hear about this, but see this nice booth here?
Ballpark.
This is like a $9,000 booth. Soundproofing is nearly impossible. I don't want to say impossible, but there's so many things that leak into your booth. So you can't soundproof very easily. And then there's treatment. There's the way the sound waves bounce off the walls, which will make your space sound a certain way. And then there's also interference, which is where the soundproofing comes in. So people outside, cars, trucks, airplanes, any number of things.
Your air conditioning
Dishwasher,
turns
air
on at the
conditioner.
wrong moment.
That's one of the most annoying things. Because yeah, I'm in Arizona. It's freaking hot. You need air conditioning. So
and then Cameron.
A lot of people are seriously like narrating in their booths naked because it's so hot because they can't have the
Oh gosh.
air conditioner. TMI, but it's true.
Well,
like there's a lot of components to it. And
I'm sure that would help if you're reading like a romance book.
Maybe. Maybe a little too
Hmm.
literal, getting hot and sweaty in your booth, but yeah, there's a lot of it's very overwhelming if you try to tackle that and it's not your main interest is my main point. It took me years to even take the plunge just to audition.
Really?
Years. Yeah, but I'm also kind of a perfectionist, so that's why I said progress, not perfection, had to become my mantra, because otherwise I would never have gotten to that point where I felt ready, if you know what I mean.
But when you listen to her talking voice, Katie, like when you hear her talking voice, immediately, like to me, it was that's audiobook material.
Oh, really? Oh,
well, you do come through very clean and clear.
Very clean and clear.
Thank you. Well, I am sitting in my professional studio.
True.
So that I would hope, but I think too. There's just a lot of training too in my past. I have an acting and singing background, so I don't know. That affects the way I talk, I'm sure. But yeah. I don't know. I'm
There's that
rambling now,
element-
guys. Cut me off at
I don't
any
mean I don't
time.
mean to embarrass you.
Oh, I'm not easily embarrassed. I come from
Okay.
theater.
Okay.
There is that element of you have to love what you do in order to continue
Yep.
doing it because of all of the hiccups and hangups.
It's a
And
persistence game.
yeah,
It is. And it's a labor of love. It's like I'm just too stupidly passionate to do anything else.
I love that.
Even at my own
You
demise.
have to. You absolutely have to love what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm nothing if not persistent. No, I've always been a big dreamer and I've always worked hard toward my dreams. I just don't give up. So
And I could
I've
tell
had,
she worked hard because the sounds that she made for Dino Rift with my automatopoeias and dinosaur noises, the first time I heard it when she sent me the sample, my jaw dropped and I had this such boyish grin on my face. Like, the first time you saw dinosaurs on TV and you're just kind of like, holy crap. And when she did that for Dino Rift, I was just like, yeah.
oh, it was so fun. I loved doing the onomatopoeia and dinosaur noises. Like, how often do you get to do that? Like,
Exactly.
You don't get that opportunity every day. It's not something I really played with that much before, but here it came out of me and I'm like, oh, I can do this. This is fun.
And the amount of people that love the TikTok we did.
I know everybody's talking about all the dinosaur noises, which was really fun. I know that was fun doing our dino noises. Yeah.
You with your TikToks, Derek.
He's so good at it. I know.
They crack me up.
I try to find more time to do more TikToks because I love it, but it's just I've been so busy with so much.
I don't do it every day.
I
don't
appreciate
post every day.
You do some
Don't
good
make
stuff,
me go
though.
find
You're
them
very-
and play them because I will. I did it the
know.
last time you came on.
I know he's so creative and good at it. I just love it. Yep.
Since we've been teasing this so much, should we play the sample?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah?
Go for it.
Okay. All right, let's listen in.
One of the large plant leaves of her bed slipped out from under her. Once EA's eyes adjusted, she noticed tree limbs above her seemed to move past in some kind of interval. It hit her. She was moving. Instead of glancing side to side, her head snapped up. She was being dragged. Oh my God! Mandibles the size of barbecue tongs were crimped around her left foot. A reddish-brown, round head hissed with determination once more. EA screamed, "No! Help!" An 8-foot-long body with multiple legs glided backward. From one end to the other, the legs themselves moved up and down in a smooth motion like twisted, grotesque piano keys. "Giant millipede!" Over by camp, the shouts woke Vivienne up into a groggy state. It took a moment for the yells to sink in. Her vision cleared as she glanced around. Where EA had slept sat empty, but had left an imprint on the grass. Where did she... "Someone help me!" Though frightened, Viv shot to her feet. "EA, where are you? Is it what I saw last night? Or was that just a dream?" "In the forest!" EA shouted back, grunting and trying her hardest to wriggle free. "Being dragged by a freaking bug!" Cameron sat up with one eye open. "What's going on?" "Emily's in trouble." Viv rushed over to their captured friend's duffel bag. Maybe the trank gun would work? Up and hobbling over to the edge of the forest, Cam rested against a tree. "Tranks may not penetrate. Might need something." A yawn cut him off. "A little stronger." Not wanting to waste time, Viv tossed the tranquilizer weapon to him. "Try it anyway. We can't lose her." From further into the woods, EA called out, "Vivienne! Cameron!" He stared at the gun in his hands. "Nothing like a surge of adrenaline in the morning, with a sight of firearms." He set his gaze on the inner forest. "We're coming!" Leaves and sticks brushed past EA as she continued to thrash. "Get off me!" Thwack! Her free foot walloped the giant millipede in the head. The oversized arthropod hissed at her. For the most part, it remained undeterred. All its focus remained on keeping hold of the morning human meal. A flick of its strong body rammed her into a boulder. Her ribs struck the hard rock. EA gasped in shock and for air. "This thing's gonna kill me." Another jostle knocked her clambering body onto her back. As she rolled onto her right side, she managed to glance down to the back end of the huge bug. The rear began disappearing into the ground just before a mossy log. Oh God, no, it's Burrow! A low-lying cycad tree with palm fronds and a trunk resembling a pineapple came up on her right. Like a fish out of water, she lurched her body over and clasped her hands onto the bumpy tree trunk. Every muscle in her body engaged, inducing searing pain due to what must have become a cracked rib on her left side. I can't die this way! Meanwhile, Cam hoped he'd been heading in the right direction. Hey, I need your voice for guidance! Another tug from the millipede made her suck in an agonizing gasp. Over, frig, here! 30 feet at 10 o'clock from his position. Almost to you. As he took off, he glanced back for a moment. Where's Viv? The roughness of the plant's bark scuffed against EA's palms. Determined, the giant bug planted its back half and lifted the front half higher into the air. EA's fingernails dug into the tree until shooting pain flared up from under the nails. If she held on, the possibility of her nails getting ripped from their respective fingers would cause even more agony. Otherwise, she'd continue to be at the mercy of the monstrous vermin. Phew! Phew! 2 tranks glanced off the insect's armor-like exoskeleton. After firing the shots, Cam stood there. Shock set in. Crap, tranks are useless. Then try! EA's arms and hands grew tired as the millipede lowered its front half and yanked once more. Something else! Face to face with danger, he became paralyzed. I don't know what to do. Do! EA grinded her molars together. Anything! A war cry sounded. From behind a tree, Vivienne sprinted and leaped onto the back of the millipede. Positioned behind its head, she raised a knife and slammed it down with a yell of exertion.
Wow.
I love it so much.
I love it. That was brilliant. We did get a question while that was playing. Susan says, why did you choose that part?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, I chose
You know what?
it.
I love having an action part.
Yeah, that's what I always try to find something that's actionable in the spirit of the novel. And
Yeah.
so this is an adventurous, dangerous, crazy novel. You have these relationships between these teenagers and Emily Ann. And so yeah, the danger is there and the excitement and kind of the interaction between the characters. So
I feel like I know why Susan asked that though, because giant bugs.
giant bugs. I know that's a major danger in this book. Major danger.
There was quite a few readers of mine that have been readers for a while, and as soon as they got to the bug parts, they were like Vivian, who through the book is just like, ew, they're disgusting, huge, massive bugs that I want nothing to do with.
And it was either this scene or I don't want to do spoilers, or the one where they get thrown into the rift. It was it was a tough call, but I kind of listened to it and I was like, you know what? I kind of like the flow of this particular part, and I didn't feel like it was giving any spoilers. So yeah.
I loved it. I like the way that you add in the feeling. There's that pause for the narration, but then right back into the feeling. I like the sound effects that you were adding to it. That's brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. I love it.
Thank you.
I can see why Derek was so excited to bring you on and show what you can do. You did an excellent job just on that sample.
Oh, thank you.
The one villain that she voices, I didn't actually write him this way, but his last name is Bartoloni. And he's like Bartoloni. So you got like the New Yorker type mafia type voice.
Yeah, he's the New Yorker type.
And I loved how much that she did that voice, that for the sequel, I specifically did, because through Dino Rift, there's a couple of parts where you see things happening in just another part of the world. Like as everything's going on, the rifts are still affecting everything. So in the sequel, I specifically wrote a scene set in New York, just so she, if I'm pointing the right way, she can do the New York accent again, because I loved it so much.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yes.
There's a Dougie and there's a Ricky, and Ricky doesn't quite like Dougie because Dougie's about to fire her.
Uh-oh.
Meanwhile, they're using dinosaur stuff to make the breakfast for people at a cafe. and then Ricky takes things into her own hands.
Oh boy, gotta watch out with this one.
Exactly.
It sounds like you guys had a lot of fun working together in this project.
It has been fun. Yeah, Derek has been a joy to work with. And it makes my job easy when the writing and storytelling is so good. Honestly, that's most of it. Because it's a trudge. Like, I've narrated some things where I'm like, this is so not great. And you're trying to you have to fall in love with the process, no matter what. But he makes it easy because I love it. It's like such a fun story. I feel like it needs to be out in the world. And yeah, I had a great time. So it's still hard work, don't get me wrong. But he makes
you had to learn
job
dinosaur
way easier.
name pronunciation.
Yeah, that gave me a couple of hiccups. Giganotosaurus. That was the hardest one for me. I wanted to say Giganotosaurus, but I had to retrain my brain to think Giganotosaurus. And actually, I thought of you every time because I'm like, Canada, Giganota.
Really?
Giganota. Yes, this is how I trained my brain.
Okay.
To think of Giganotosaurus, like Canada, not Giganotosaurus. What did I say before? Giganotosaurus. Which made more sense to my brain for some reason.
Yeah. How many outtakes did you end up with?
A million. Oh,
she did post some on TikTok.
So bad. Yeah. He was like, yeah, why don't you post your live recording? And I'm like, Derek, you don't even realize. And so I'm like, okay, I'll do a section. I'll start this. I'm recording. I'll set it up fine. And of course, like 2 seconds in, I make a mistake, and I keep making the mistake over and over. And then I lose my place, and I have it all caught on TikTok on the video. That was legit real time. That was not staged. That is like really what happens in my video.
But I was saying that because I see audiobook narrators just literally go live on TikTok. So
that's
people can, and you know what? The amount of times they mess up is plenty.
Does happen. Oh, sure. It happens to the best of us. Yeah. I think a lot of times I think I'm just so in the zone too that I wouldn't think to stream it. And I would feel like I would want to plan it. Maybe it's my perfectionist planner controlling nature of like, I don't want to give spoilers at the wrong time or maybe I need to edit it or I don't know, but it's a nice idea. I can work toward being more authentic with the process.
So on my other screen, I have TikTok open. Is there a particular one I should pull up?
You should do the dinosaur noise one.
You could do the dinosaur noise one. That one is fun.
Which one is that?
Because it's basically me saying to Izzy that we should, talk about.
Like, let's do an interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see. Let's see what that one's called. What's that one called, Derek?
Let me see here. Turn down my volume. That one is called.
She's got to find it.
My Dino Riff Narrator. And I've got my headphones on.
I've got it on mine too. Yeah. If you can't find it. That's the last one I posted on mine because I have not posted enough things lately.
I don't know what TikTok looks like on computer.
Oh, I don't know.
That one?
That's the one.
The one.
Yeah.
It's a little quiet though.
Yeah.
Sounds not great.
I love that part. That's my favorite part out of the whole thing. When you get the facial expressions going there, I lost it. I love it so much. So I filmed my part first. I sent it to her and I said, just play around with like the timing and stuff and just make whatever noises you want. And when she sent that back,
I did that all
like,
organically in one take. I was just like, I'm just going to do a bunch of dinosaur noises and you can do with it what you will.
Yeah. I'm just happy you're game to do that stuff with me. Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you are an author who obviously is passionate about your baby, your work as an author, and you're getting it out there in fun ways. And it's your baby and I get that. And I love that. And that's a huge thing when, we were kind of talking about taking a gamble where it's like, this is my passion. Of course, I want to narrate all indie authors' books. There's so many good ones that deserve to sell well and have success. But I also have to think about my time as a business.
Mhm.
And when I'm, doing that gamble for something, it means a lot to me when the author is making an effort to get it out there, and I believe in this book and I wanted to narrate it. I actually reached out to Derek. He didn't reach out to me.
I
I
was
was
just
like,
about to say, yeah,
yeah,
like
I
we're a
was
part
like,
of a
I
group.
love this book and I wanted to narrate this book.
Yeah, we're
And
part of a
and
group on
I'm
Facebook called, well, at the time it was Superheroes Unleashed. Now it's Superpowers
yeah,
Unleashed.
yeah,
And yeah, I just, when she said, I would love to narrate Dino Rift, I just went, really? Like, you
yeah,
think this is good enough? Like, I don't know.
of
People have always
course,
said my
it
books would be
is.
good for audiobook, but I just,
Yes, it's very dynamic. It's great storytelling. It deserves to get out there. And I saw your passion for it too, and that's a big selling point. And yeah, that just means a lot to me. Like I don't want my efforts to go unappreciated,
mm,
or I want somebody who has as much passion as I do for the work they do
Makes a
and
difference.
doesn't take it for granted. Yeah, absolutely. So I want to honor the deserving authors out there,
oh,
if that makes any sense.
you
But
trying to
yeah,
make me cry?
I mean, go ahead.
Mm.
We've already embarrassed me plenty
Oh,
of times
well,
in this.
yeah.
I still have TikTok open, so
No, honestly, like people have said that about my books and that they should be audiobooks, and all these years since like I first released Ultimate Agent in 2017, I was just like, I probably can't afford it. Like, I don't know, how do I go about it? I didn't even have to really audition anyone. Like, Izzy sent me her sample, and it was, as soon as I heard the sample, I went, this is the voice.
Aw.
if you build it, they will come. It's like
Yeah.
the
Really.
stars aligned for you on that one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
felt it was a special book and it was something I wanted to audition for. So I'm glad that you felt I was the right fit,
Especially
Yeah.
because when you hear her do the voice of Vivian, it is Izzy.
It's me. I just play Vivian as me,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah. So I'm like, that's me. I'm
The
like the snarky.
sarcasm, the
Yeah,
snark.
that's
Yeah.
very me. Yeah, yeah.
That's perfect because when you connect with the character, you can definitely emote them a
Oh, I
lot
love
better.
Vivian. She was immediately my favorite character. And I
Yeah.
love all the characters. He does great character development but I was like, I am Vivian. Yep.
Was
That's
there
me.
a character though that you were like,
Like as in I despise or I just don't want to play?
no, you just despise them?
Well, Bartolone, of course, because
Pantalleresco.
he's the
Yeah.
villain. And I like Sebastian's character arc because at first you're like, ugh, Sebastian, corporate greedy asshole. But then, yeah, he has a really nice character arc, which I appreciate. I like when people have the potential for change as they go through things and stories. So he does. I won't spoil it, but
Yeah.
Well,
it's
you
a
need
good
to
one.
have a well-rounded character. They have to start at one point and end somewhere different.
Yes.
They
Everybody
can't end in the
grows
same
as a
spot.
result. And I felt that these characters really do have that development throughout this book. So yeah. It's
And
good.
Derek, how's the reception been? I mean, I know it prompted you to write the second book, so it obviously was good. But I
What?
mean,
It's a strange thing of, I didn't know how many people would still want a dinosaur book at this point in time. Thankfully, Jurassic Park has kept the love of dinosaurs alive. But yeah, it's such a different, compared to my superhero books, Dino Rift has been a very different experience. And I don't really know how to put it into words, but it has literally humbled me how many people have said this is dinosaurs in a way I have never seen before. And it is now, like, one guy on TikTok just said, you've made my top 2 books.
Oh, that's
great.
amazing.
And it's just,
Aw.
you hear stuff like that and you're going, really? Like, really?
There's something truly magical about dinosaurs. And
True.
I for one am somebody like my favorite thing to do is like I love going to dinosaur exhibits and looking at the
Mhm.
bones of dinosaurs. I'm like, this existed. This is a creature that existed on our past. And I can stand there and stare for hours because it's amazing. So right, to be immersed in this world, I don't think we can get enough dinosaur stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially because you have a different take on it, and it's fun. It's action packed, and it's kind of like a Jurassic Park experience revamped
With a
into
twist.
something new with a twist.
Yeah. I'll never forget too, because there was a blogger that posted her TikTok as soon as she finished the book, and she had like tears on her face, and she just goes, "Hold on, we need to talk about this for a minute." And she's like, "I need more of this world. I loved that there was onomatopoeias and dinosaur noises." And she's like, and she tried to do her own pterodactyl noise type thing, and it was awesome. But even just, and I've said this in other interviews too, like to hear parents or have them message me and say, "My kid read your book twice," or they're saying they're taking it to school, they're telling their friends. It's like, what other experience
That
is there like that?
Biggest compliment in the world. And I've had that same experience, Derek, and I got to tell you, it keeps me going because I know I was in a musical. I think I was like 16. I was young, and I was cast as like this, okay, it was Moby Dick the musical, which is ridiculous, and I was Queequeg, which is even more ridiculous. And as you already know, because of my singing background, I usually play the blonde soprano who does the color turn thing. And here I'm like this cannibal male belting role that's like out of left field. And my director was really hard on me, and she pulled me aside and she said, "Izzy, you will be typecast your entire life as the blonde soprano." And she's like, "I know you can do more, so I'm going to push you in this role." So I had a hard time. And then months later, I mean, like at least 6 months, maybe a year, I was in the lobby of this theater, and a mom came up to me and she said, "Were you Queequeg in Moby Dick the musical?" And I said, "Yeah."
Wow.
And she said, "My 6-year-old daughter saw that show and she idolized your character. And every day she dresses up in leopard print and gets her little stick for her staff and sings your songs and dances around." And it was like the Disney princess effect. I was
That's
I was
amazing.
her Disney princess.
Oh,
And
That
that
is
was such
so
a
cool.
hard role for me because it was so out of my comfort zone. And that just meant the world to me. So yeah, when you're we were talking about being out of your comfort zone and stretching yourself and having a hard time. And I'm like, why was I cast as this? Like, this is so hard. It's so not me. And it just was beautiful. So Derek, I feel that, when people's kids are inspired, what a beautiful power to have as a
It's like
creative, as an artist.
Yeah. And in this, like you said earlier, the age of technology and the way things have changed, like
And it's accessible.
Yeah, like people can actually message their favorite author now
Yeah, I know.
and
That's
just
a
tell them
beautiful
how much
thing.
it means to them. And that's something that I never thought I would be, that type of author.
And how many people aren't saying how it affects them too? Like
Yeah.
these are the small percentage of people who are saying, "Hey, this made an impact on me." And imagine all the people who aren't even saying that, and it has.
hmm
And that's the beauty of art. Art saves lives. It inspires. It lights a fire
Yep.
in us. Art certainly has saved my life, and it's my journey, my passion, And that's a cool thing,
I actually have customers that come back to the store that have bought the first book, and they keep asking me, "When's the sequel coming? When's the sequel coming?"
That's so cool.
And then they
That's really
actually get to see
special.
me in person. I'm just like the one, she used to be a teacher. She bought 2 other copies for 2 other family members, sent them down to the States, and she goes, both of them have said they love them. And then for her, because she used to be a teacher and taught English and everything, she goes, "Your book was so different that, I mean, I thought certain things were going to happen, and then it didn't happen the way I thought it was going to go." And she said, "To me, it was just so unique and differently done that it's like nothing I've
We
actually
tend to
read
expect
before."
a certain narrative, because
True.
of the formula. So yeah, it can be pleasantly surprising when it's done artfully in an
that you can
unexpected
subvert
way.
expectations in
Right.
just the
And
right
just
way.
immerse yourself into this experience. Yeah.
But I literally nerded out over Dino Rift with this customer for half an hour in my store.
That's cool.
And it was such an experience. I'm just going like, this
great.
is part of my life.
I know. Is this my life now? What?
Weird. It's so weird.
And you get to sell more olive oil while you're at it, which
True.
is a bonus.
True.
Now, does olive oil make an appearance in the books? Has it bled into your writing life?
You know what's funny is there's actually a scene in the last Ultimate Agent book where there's a couple of guards walking down a hallway, and I have them doing a little bit of dialogue, and the one says to the other guy, so we should probably do like a double date sometime soon. I heard there's like an olive oil tasting place nearby. As you know, I put food in my books. Yeah.
As
You
you
have to put
should.
those cheeky little bits in.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's a part of
Even if
you. Yeah.
even if the characters have to resort to eating bugs in a prehistoric forest.
Well, I'm with Vivian on that one. No way.
No.
Rose.
You need your
Nope.
protein.
Nah. Pass.
Like I said before we started recording, any kind of like post-apocalyptic, I'm just dead.
No.
Consider me dead
No,
right
me
off the
too.
bat because it's not working.
I know. I like my creature comforts. I'm like, yeah.
Not even like chocolate covered crickets.
Yeah, I might
No.
try that.
Maybe.
That. But what happens when you run out of the chocolate?
Right. I know.
See?
I try to be adventurous, so I like to say I'll try anything once. So maybe
Katie, you'd be the one that say, "Oh yeah, there's a jar of grasshoppers there. The chocolate's already gone though."
I did
I don't
try
know what happened to
escargot.
chocolate.
Yeah. Escargot was okay. I guess that's.
I do like escargot.
I heard that's really salty. I haven't tried it.
It's
It
kind
has
of
to be done
buttery.
right.
Yeah, it's like buttery. I don't know. It's just kind of like a spread. I put it on
problem
toast
with-
to fool
with
myself.
those, it's texture.
Texture.
The texture gets me. I can eat something that may taste delicious, but if the texture is wrong, it's just. Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I put it on a piece of toast because I was like, it's a spread.
Mm, that makes sense. I like that.
Yeah, I had to trick myself because eating bugs not my idea of fun. But
My wife will
it's
eat
okay.
shrimp, but my wife hates scallops.
That's
Huh?
really weird. Scallops
can
are
deal-
delicious.
I know, I love scallops. But for her, she can handle shrimp because she used to eat shrimp when she was a
I
kid.
think shrimp is way grosser than scallops.
Really?
Yeah, I
Interesting.
don't know. Just got like the vein.
No, well.
Shrimp's
running
got a more meaty
through.
texture to it than scallops. I think
Yeah.
shrimp would be easier to take in because that softer, mushier texture tends to be the gag reflex inducing.
Like all
I love
seafood, though, it
scallops.
has to be cooked right. Like
Yes,
once you
of
overcook
course.
it, then it's just chewy. It's just no.
Yes.
Gross, indeed.
Though if you do ever want to, make an exit at your company with style, you can just put some fish in the microwave and leave.
Yeah, right. We have a toaster oven, but same thing. Yeah. Shrimps are better, yeah.
Peace. They won't get rid of
I
that
like
smell
it
for a
all.
while.
I'll never forget. Have you ever had monkfish?
I have not. No.
So monkfish is one of the ugliest fish out in the ocean.
Totally. Yeah.
But I had the tail in Italy on the Amalfi Coast, and it was so fishy smelling. My mom had to leave the table.
Ooh.
Oh.
I
Like,
didn't
she-
even know people ate monkfish. I didn't know
Yeah.
that was a thing.
Yeah,
But
it was
does
wrapped
it taste
in.
good if you can get it
Was
past
it
your nose?
good? Yeah,
It was
good?
wrapped in bacon. It was delicious. I
Anything
loved
wrapped
it.
in bacon. Hold on.
I
It
know,
was
right?
wrapped in bacon with like wild rice and
Mm.
I think peas was in there too. Like it was delicious, but the smell
Mm.
just like
Well, it's just
Yeah.
like a stinky cheese. Like if you can get past
Yeah.
the aroma and get to the experience, I could see how
Yep.
that could work. Yeah, because
Yep.
I love me a stinky cheese.
Yeah,
Never
I
met a
have the
cheese I don't
instant
like.
reaction to dairy. So if it stinks
Oh,
too much,
I
of
mean, I'm
dairy-
allergic to it, but I friggin' love it. It's so good.
I used
the
to
one
use-
sacrifice you'll make.
I know.
I used
I
to use
do.
chocolate milk to get out of school when I was little
Oh,
because I knew it would
'cause
make
it would
me
make
it would
you
make me
sick.
throw up. And so I
Oh.
was like, "Watch this!"
Poor
Chug
thing.
a little
Oh.
carton of milk.
Whoops.
Start spewing in the nurse's office. Call
Oh
the mom.
no.
Take her home.
But you
I
still got
just
chocolate.
lied like every other normal kid. I didn't have a convenient barf mechanism like that. I just lied.
I didn't come across it though easily. Like
Oh.
I had to learn that would work, and then I
That
just
was
used
your-
it to my advantage.
Right. I just learned how to lie. Maybe that's the actor in me. I was like, I know how to tell.
Yeah, right.
I'm sick. It's like Mean Girls. Can't go to school today.
Got the black lung pops.
The plague. Just kidding. No.
Where
No.
were we? Where were we?
I don't even know.
Books.
I'm excited
Oh.
to see more reviews as they come in for this audiobook because
Yes. And guys,
Izzy deserves to have her voice
Aw.
out there everywhere.
well, thank
Aw.
you. And
Yeah.
as always, I am a big proponent of encouraging anybody who listens to an indie produced audiobook or reads an indie book, please review. It means
Mhm.
the world. It is just that minute you take to write a review, it
And it
means
doesn't
so
even
much.
have to
So
be
please
a
don't.
huge review. I liked it, 5
You
stars. I
can
liked
say,
it, 4
right, yeah,
stars.
I loved it, liked it, it was cool, I like dinosaurs, whatever. Like, you don't have to put a whole lot of effort into it, but it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, you don't need to do a book report or
No,
write a
it doesn't have to
novel.
be. No,
We the authors have already done that. So all you have to do is
right,
just give your stamp of approval on it.
exactly. Yes.
Speaking
Yeah.
of, what is the funniest review that you've ever gotten? Are there any good one-liners that you've read in reviews?
Not a one-liner, but one that kind of surprised me was it started off as, I'm the guy that hardly reads anything, but I love this.
Aw.
It was my wife that bought me this book, and I read it, and it was actually really good. I'm like, if I can get a husband that doesn't read often to like a book,
Hey,
cool.
right? There's your gold star.
I wish I could remember. I'm really, like I mentioned this earlier, I'm bad at remembering things. A lot of times it's good not to pay attention to reviews, and I'll read them sometimes and I'll laugh and then I just kind of forget about it. I guess I don't have room in my brain to hold on to these things. So I'd have to go back and dig. But I know I've had some funny ones where I've laughed and go, ha, ha, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know. I'm
I
trying not to
laugh
take
at the
it too
bad
seriously.
reviews now.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah,
I'm,
my
yeah, you
favorite
learn
are
to
the
laugh
bad
at the bad
ones.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like,
my point. Yeah, you get bad ones and you're like, okay.
They hurt a little bit,
Eh.
but then when they're funny, it kind of eases the pain.
It does get to be funny. And that's the other thing is like, okay, if you really hate something and it's an indie thing, maybe hold it back a little bit. I don't
Mhm.
know. Like
Mm.
I just don't have the heart to do it because I understand how much that means to an indie author. But I'm not saying you can't say anything bad. I'm just like, I don't know. You want to
If
use
it's
your
constructive
energy for
criticism,
good?
great.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
what I always agree with.
Oh,
And that
yeah.
is why I do read my reviews, is because I do look for something insightful. So that I can find. But if you're just railing on something for the sake of being
Oh,
negative
yeah.
and a troll, then it's like,
I have
stop.
one where she was basically saying, did everyone who gave him reviews were like his family or best friends or what?
Okay. And it's
I'm
like,
like, so what if it was? Like, I like to get to know my readers and make them my friends. Like,
Hey,
that's the great thing about being
we're
an author
encouraged
today.
to do that
well,
as
we're
authors.
Yeah,
here to connect. Like, isn't that the whole point of
exactly.
storytelling, is to connect? So
Yep.
the goal is to connect through your storytelling, through your book. And what a beautiful extension to be able to connect in the real world as well, if somebody
Yep.
has enjoyed it and maybe taken something from that novel, piece of art,
Yep.
audiobook, whatever it is. So yeah, whatever. People just like to rain on your parade, and there will always be those people. So
Yeah. Like, I would have loved to been able to speak to Michael Crichton and
Ooh.
be his friend, because the way his
yeah.
mind worked is just, it blows me away every time. Like, they're still finding stuff on his computers that he had half written that are waiting to be finished. Like, I just finished the Andromeda Evolution, the sequel to Andromeda Strain, not too long ago.
Cool.
And you can still tell where it kind of ended with him and the next author continued on. But I mean, sadly, when he passed away from cancer, it was just one of those things where I had already read Jurassic Park at that point and Jurassic World and all these other books. And I'm going, we've just lost a great
I know.
author. Like, I wish.
The art dies. Yeah. I mean, it lives on after them, what they've put out in the world, but
True.
imagine all the untold stories.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that, I mean, we as artists are paralyzed by our perfection and our desire, because it is scary to put yourself out there. You will get criticism. I don't care how good it is, you will get criticized. There's going to be haters.
Mhm.
And we're so scared of that. And yet there's those, you have your fans, like those people who get you. Not everybody's going to get you.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to appreciate what
Nope.
you do. You can't be everything to everyone. But you'll find those people that speak your language, and to them you're special, and for that it's worth getting your art out there.
And
you
it's
can't
interesting
be
you
so
say that.
paralyzed by that fear.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that, because I've felt that paralyzing thing writing the sequel
Mm.
to
And
Dino Ridge,
I mean, I
because
think
so many
every
people
artist,
love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you're scared.
The
Yeah.
pressure.
Well, yeah, and then you have like Orson Welles. It's like, how can you top making after
No.
your like
Yeah.
your opus is like the
Yeah.
first thing you've ever made is the best, and then you could never top it. But
Everything's going to be held up against it. So it
But-
becomes we're our
You know,
own worst critics to
we
begin with.
are
And we will
and
be harder on ourselves
Mhm.
than the world will be. So as we're writing, and Derek, I'm sure you are feeling this with the reception of the first book, it has to be better than that because they're expecting that. And so you're going to be nitpicking yourself even harder. So I get it. I can totally empathize with the pressure you're feeling.
I just try to throw away expectations at this point. I mean, just to experience and being present in that world, I think is exciting. And
That's a
so
good lesson.
to be able to extend that, you know, you've created a magical world and people want to sit in that. So release the pressure. You know, I had to adopt the mantra, so what? For a long time. Just like, so what,
Yep.
so what, so what, so what, so what? Because you just put it out there. You
Yeah.
know,
Keep
you
in
never
mind, too.
know. You can't control anything.
Yeah.
Exactly. And keep
Right.
in mind too, if you're having fun writing it, it will
We'll
come
have
through
fun
in the words.
reading
And
it.
that's it,
Exactly.
because they're like, I'm a pantser, right? So I know where I have to get to. It's just kind of filling in the in-between parts. So
Sure.
there have been chapters where it's like, ugh, how do I make this character get to here? And then I finally get there, and then I get to the chapter that I just absolutely love digging into. Like I just had one 2 days ago that I pulled everything out, and it was exciting. I'm actually pulling a little bit of espionage into this one.
Ooh.
And it was just this twist that was so exciting for me, and now I feel that jumping off point of I'm back in this. So finding the joy,
Yep.
right,
Always
is
lead
the
with
biggest
joy.
part.
And
So
let it be organic. Don't force it. You know,
Yep.
if you got to take a break, don't hold yourself to like these
Yep.
tough
do
expectations.
something else creative, and
Yeah.
then it'll come.
Have a life. We talked about
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
Yep, the
Like
balance.
it's important to have that work-life balance and release those expectations and pressure on
Okay,
yourself.
raise your
And
hand if you actually have work-life balance. Yep.
it's a work in progress. It's a
We're
work in
all guilty.
progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's a work
It's
in
true though.
progress.
You do need the work-life balance. And I think those of us who are passionate about what we do and love what we do, that line is so blurred. It's
It
hard
is.
to figure out.
Yeah. I used to work 7 days a week, you know, as many hours as I could, you know, until I was exhausted and couldn't continue. And now I am trying to implement work hours. Like I can only do work in this slot of time. And then I need to go enjoy time with my family and my friends and make dinner and clean the house and actually do responsible adult things.
Right.
Sometimes. I don't know. But it is
Adulting?
important.
What?
Adulting?
Whoever told me I was
What is
responsible as an adult, they were stupid.
I know. Responsibilities? What?
I need a babysitter.
It's always the worst when I'm sitting at like the kitchen island and my wife's telling me something, and then at some point she just stops and goes, "You're thinking about your book again, aren't you?"
Always.
I have to stop that. It's
And
so
that
bad.
reminds me of like never give up on something you can't go a day without thinking about. And it's like as these artists, we're so passionate about something. And I see so many artists are stalled and in despair. And it's like, don't give up on it. Do it. But then find the balance. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. I think we have this like huge dichotomy of like expectations about what being an artist means. And it doesn't mean you have to make money off of it.
Yep.
It
Hustle
doesn't.
culture.
Yep.
Hustle
I
culture
know
is
it's this
killing
whole
us.
it is. And it's like, no, you don't have to be successful. What does that mean? You can
Yep.
define your own definition for success. I love that there was a quote, Brandon Cranston said it. I don't know if it originated from him, but he said, never define success with an outcome you cannot control. Success cannot be an outcome that is not in your control.
That's a good one, yeah.
So if it's about making a lot of money,
No.
can you make your book sell 1 million copies? Can you make it? No, it's not in your control.
Yeah.
So don't define success that way.
Yeah. Well, I've had people say to me, like, I love how much success you're having with Dino Rift. And every time I always say, success is relative.
It is. Yeah.
You know, what you think is success is totally different from me.
Well, and a
Like,
lot
if
of
I sell 1 million
people.
copies, great. If not, then, I mean, Dino Rift will do whatever it will do.
Just
Exactly.
hearing people love your book, that's can be
That's a
considered
huge
success.
Yeah. You never know. Just to touch one person
Exactly.
is an incredible power. You never know. And I mean, a lot of people go their whole lives dreaming of just writing one book. So you've definitely done that. You've written more than one book, you know, and now you've had one produced into an audiobook. You have audiences who are engaging with you. Like there's so many elements of beauty and success in this process that a lot of people just don't take the time to appreciate. And I think that's important as artists to remind ourselves to enjoy the process. It's a labor of love. Like focus on the love. Don't focus on the outcome.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm happy to pull you along on this journey with me now.
Oh yeah, you're not pulling me. We're side by side.
Side by side. We're chums.
You can definitely tell that there's a mutual level of passion for this project. I love that because it will come through. It comes through in the narration. It comes through in the writing. And that's going to be what makes people really connect with it.
I already have the audiobook cover made for the Dino Riff sequel with Isabella Tugman attached to it.
I know. He went out and made that so fast.
May 10th. May 10th.
That's too long. Don't have that kind of patience. I need it now.
Now. I'll send it to you after.
I can't do that. I have to know now. I have to have all the information now.
It's an obsession. It's common.
I can't wait. Now, when is it going to be released? Do we have potential dates yet?
I'm hoping by the summer.
Okay.
I'm hoping by summer if I can get my butt in gear and crank out.
Summer's not too far away, so that usually means that people are starting their advertising, marketing, reach out to others campaigns within 3 months of release is the average. So are you already starting to build that street team kind of feel to get the word out?
I do have my street team. Yeah. I've been putting out little tease images of what the cover looks like just for the ebook. But I'm doing something different this time because I've seen some authors do this and I've never done it before. So I'm just going to see what happens, but I'm probably just going to drop it and be like, it's out.
Wow.
Still have,
adding
things along the way, like just to tease everybody and then just say, you know what? It's here. And see what happens.
Yeah. Let it be organic. Yeah. I mean, don't push yourself. Give it.
No. And
let it.
Surprise.
Because we want it to be good. And I mean, take your time.
I like that because you've already got a lot of buzz about it. So that could work in your favor. And it does take the pressure of trying to do the marketing off, which we've talked ad nauseum on the show about the marketing and the struggles with marketing and the chasing the algorithms and all that. So,
but I think I really, and I mentioned this before, but I really appreciate the zest and joy with which Derek approaches that because it's not about sales. Nobody wants to be sold to. We want to have fun. We want to enjoy this journey. And I feel like you do a good job of that with your TikTok videos and your creativity. And like people want to watch funny dinosaur noise videos. Like they don't want to be like, hey, buy Dino Rift now, sale.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you've seen all the funny dinosaur memes I post in my Facebook group.
Oh yeah, and that's great. Like who doesn't love dinosaur memes? And a lot of people want to share those too. But that's great, and it keeps people engaged in a way that actually adds value instead of is just selling people something.
You're being real. You're being legitimately
it's real.
You. And that connects with people way better than trying to sell them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, no,
well,
it's
fine. We'll have to wait to get the information. May 10th. That's too far.
May 10th. May 10th. It's not that far. It's only 3 weeks?
That's coming up. That's why I was like, you're putting a deadline on yourself. You're brave.
Yeah.
That's good. Good for you. Yeah.
Just for the cover reveal.
Oh, the cover.
I'm not saying May 10th is
right.
Like
so you
book
are.
Release.
I thought you were talking like you're gonna put the book under the. I was like,
no.
That's ambitious. Yes, the cover is already done. So in that case, you're right.
And I'm guessing because you went with Molly again, didn't you?
I did.
Oh God, she does such good work. I love.
And what
Molly.
she did with the cover, because I've put the cover side. It's actually my laptop background. What she did with the cover is when you put the two books side by side, it's like its own image.
I love that. I love when books do that. Cool.
She's awesome. I absolutely love her as a cover artist. And I was going to say something about that because we've seen the passion that you guys have for this project, but it goes beyond that. You, Derek, have always been somebody who uplifts. You always share the good about everybody that you connect with. And that right there is something that we all need to be doing. We all need to be remembering and recognizing those we work with and helping to spread the word so that these good people that we work with get the ability to get more work. And that feeds the system that keeps everybody working, keeps everybody able to live this life, and create like we need to.
Plus, we're on this podcast with like one of the greatest hosts ever.
Jane's not here today, okay? Sorry.
Oh, come on. Come on. I don't know why they kept calling you Trainwreck Salidas. It's just
Oh, no, that's
like
me.
One of the best ever.
That was from my character from one of my books.
Oh, is
Captain
that okay?
Trainwreck. Yeah.
Okay, I
That
understand
was
the
her
reference now.
nickname.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
Gotcha.
totally embrace it. I am Captain Trainwreck.
No. I'm just happy that people have chosen to work with me on these projects like Izzy. Like Izzy is a good friend now. So just grow the
Yeah, it's
bookish
kind of
family.
exactly. It becomes a family. We're all storytellers together, working in the cause of good.
I still have to finish the Lost City Vat.
Oh gosh,
I
that's a
still have to
crazy
finish
one.
that.
Lost in the City of At. That's a really crazy one. If you want to hear character voices,
I
woo!
love your voices in that so far.
Thank you. That was actually my first audiobook. It took me a
Oh,
long
was it?
time.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my first one,
Okay.
and probably the hardest one I will ever do because of all the character
Harder
voices.
than
It is
dinosaur noises?
insane. Oh, so hard.
Okay.
It's a million characters.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I
All
was
right.
learning production. Oh, we got to wrap it up.
We're at the end of the hour, so we do have to say goodbye. But I will make sure to put all of your links in the show notes down below, so that way people know where to find you, how to get in touch with you, and how to find those awesome TikTok videos.
Sounds
Until
good.
then, though, Derek, get in touch with me because I want to get you
Will
back
do.
for when we do your next book release. Izzy, you too. We got to bring you guys back.
Absolutely.
The Isabella Tugman.
You guys have such wonderful personality. I love it. I just absolutely love your energy, your personality. So when the next book comes out, you guys are coming back. So we will arrange that
Thanks
for all of
having
our
us.
viewers out there. We'll be back next week with more authors to introduce you to, some more fun conversation. And like I said, remember, check the show notes after we're done here for all the important links.
Cool. Thank you.
Had
Thank
fun.
you guys. You have
See you
been
guys.
absolutely amazing. I just,
This has been fun. This is really
good
cool.
vibes all around.
Good vibes. All the good vibes. Spreading them around.
All right. We'll see y'all later.
See you guys.
Bye.